Happy lunchtime on this Wednesday, and welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank, who, by the way, is celebrating 120 years of banking in our area. Congratulations to them. They're celebrating this week. Obviously, as you take a look at what's going on the radar, it is a messy afternoon shaping up across the area, so we're going to spend most of the midday live stream really focused on what's happening radar-wise across the region. Obviously, your radar products are always made possible by Brown's Roofing, and there's a look at what's going on across southern Arkansas. In fact, let's go back to the broader look, and you can see kind of how things have unfolded over the last 4 hours or so. And again, we are starting to stack up the rainfall and kind of running out of places to put it in some spots as we go through the afternoon. Check of the radar across southern Arkansas first, and flash flood warnings continue across a good chunk of Ouachita County, one for southwestern sections of Ouachita County, and the more recent one is for northern portions of Ouachita County. But now we're starting to see the higher rain rates pull up across central sections of Calhoun County, and all of that moves eastward, again, along a corridor kind of along and near Highway 278 that's seen quite a bit of rainfall here recently. So we're going to bounce to a few different radar products as I just kind of want to look at the 6-hour rain totals over a lot of these areas. And again, just keep in mind that these are radar estimates, but again, we're approaching 4.5 inches of rainfall in a lot of these spots and at least 3 inches of rain in other locations. We'll take a look at some of those radar estimated rain totals a little bit more so in just a minute. But again, just wanted to kind of put in perspective what we've been dealing with across southern Arkansas through much of the morning hours and why those flash flood warnings remain in place. We shift a little bit farther eastward and look across southeastern Arkansas, the Mississippi Valley, into western Mississippi and northeastern Louisiana, and the rain rates have been a little bit more consistent for a lot of these areas, meaning that while the rain is moderate in intensity, it's at least consistent rainfall. We're not seeing the storm-driven rains as much in some of these locations. Now, that said, we're starting to kind of see a resurgence of some more organized thunderstorms across portions of Issaquena and Warren counties and stretching back into Madison and Tensas parishes and continuing to stretch eastward. Again, some gusty winds possible with these leading edges of storms, and obviously the higher rain rates should be expected in those areas as well. As you shift a little bit farther westward, additional thunderstorms continue across the Ark-La-Tex region. So I know a lot of folks are probably seeing this and going, man, the rain has really kind of outperformed itself. Well, it's kind of evolved into a 1-2 punch. We had the earlier round of thunderstorms that really started in northwestern Arkansas and surged through the region this morning. We're still dealing with a lot of the leftovers of that as it moves eastward. Now we're actually getting the front to move through, and the front's driving additional rain and thunderstorms, and some of that rain is quite heavy at times across the Ark-La-Tex. So for folks farther westward that have seen the rain slack off, or maybe you've seen a brief lull, you've got more on the way, unfortunately. And then as you stretch back to the south, south of the I-20 corridor, where rain has been much more scattered in nature today, I don't want folks to kind of lose sight of the fact that you're going to run into the rainfall, and some of it could be heavy at times, but it will be more scattered for our southern parishes and counties, at least through the early afternoon. By mid-afternoon into the evening, as this front drags deeper into the area, I would expect the rain coverage to probably increase for a lot of you folks as well. Quick check of rain totals. Again, these are unofficial, but a lot of them are radar estimated. Kind of gives you a general idea of where we're sitting rain total wise, and I'll go over some other totals that I have available as well. But now over 4 inches of rain in Camden, approaching 4 inches of rain in Magnolia, approaching 2 inches of rain in El Dorado, 1 inch of rain in Monroe, and then a lot of other areas kind of with surrounding totals. Quick check of the Louisiana Mesonet powered by the University of Louisiana Monroe. And ULM now at about 1.15 inches of rain just for the day. Duboc is approaching 2.5 inches of rain. Homer at a little over 1.5 inches. Farmerville a little over 1.5 inches. Lake Providence at 1/2 inch. And Eris at about 1/4 inch. So again, you can kind of see how the totals vary. Obviously, the higher totals, southern Arkansas, far northern Louisiana, and as you move farther south and southeast, the rain total is a smidge more limited there. So that's kind of how things pan out for right now. The severe weather threat really hasn't changed much from where we left it this morning. Obviously, the northwestern counties in the coverage area across southern Arkansas, they've been trimmed away as the front starts to advance through a lot of those regions. The periods of heavy rain are probably the biggest concerns for a lot of you folks. The one change that we have in terms of outlooks, if you will, is because of the pooling of the early rounds of rainfall and now the cold front moving through, rain totals, again, are kind of outperforming what we initially thought. We were generally thinking 1/4 inch to 3/4 of an inch for a good chunk of the area, and then storm-driven totals 1, 2, maybe upwards of 3 inches in some locations, and we're already past that. So the flash flood risk is now up to a slight risk level 2 out of 4 categories, again, also known as the excessive rain outlook, but just want to draw attention to that. Steve, Jonathan, Janet, thanks so much for joining the live stream at lunchtime. Like I said, a lot of folks are probably out and about and just dealing with the messy conditions. Temperatures are rain-cooled, obviously, in most locations, especially the northwestern half of the area, but most of us are seeing 70s, some 80s, and even some upper 80s are still sprinkled in where we haven't seen much rain so far today. But I'll be honest, I wrote down 80 for an afternoon high in El Dorado, 84 for Monroe, and 86 in Natchez. I don't think much of the area sees the 80-degree mark today. So, again, I'll leave the forecast where it is in terms of high temperatures. It's kind of an afterthought for a lot of areas, but something to keep in mind as we go through the afternoon is that it will probably be underperforming temperatures in most spots. Linda, you are welcome. Thanks so much for joining in on the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. Tropical satellite, obviously, we've got Gabrielle, top right-hand side of your screen, racing off to the east, and then 2 tropical waves that now both have a high chance of development over the next 7 days. The first of those, just to the east of Puerto Rico, you could see most of the thunderstorm activity associated with it's kind of south of Puerto Rico, and then one still wandering out into the open Atlantic, but both of those moving west-northwestward, and the farthest west one, the one near Puerto Rico, could be an East Coast impactor later on in its life cycle. Again, a long way between now and then, but we'll obviously keep an eye on that. Again, 84 for a high, maybe if we even get there. I don't think that's going to be a widespread. 80-degree readings are tough to get for much of the area today. Rain and storms continue. An isolated strong to severe storm can't be ruled out. Damaging wind gusts would be our primary concern there. Lows tonight fall back into the 60s. A lot of us will see maybe even mid to upper 60s as we go through the overnight, as we start to work in some cooler air. Most of us won't really feel the full impacts of that cooler air until we get into the day on Friday. 7-day forecast, as always, made possible by 3B Outdoor Equipment. The cold front moves through today. Rain chances have obviously bumped up to 90%. The southern parishes where we haven't seen much rain yet today, again, that'll settle in later on today, into tonight, and then linger into early tomorrow. Most of the rain tomorrow is scattered, mainly focused in the southern parishes and counties, but I think everybody at least has a chance for rain through the course of the day. And then the slightly cooler but drier air, which is the most noticeable thing as we go into the weekend. Highs in the mid to upper 80s, approaching 90 early next week. Morning lows back into the low to mid 60s, so some cooler, crisp mornings across the region. Could see the upper 50s in some spots as well. Again, this is all made possible 100% free to you. All you have to do in terms of participating as part of the Digital Weather Desk is do what you're doing right now. Just be a part of the conversation, like and share the content. Make sure that you're following on social media knows about the weather, especially during breaking weather scenarios. Again, sunny and 75. Most folks don't necessarily need to know about it. But when there's breaking weather or dangerous weather across the region, obviously we want folks to, as many folks to know about it as possible. Again, there's a kind of final look at the radar. Heavier thunderstorm activity kind of set and poised to move back in along the boundary as we go through the afternoon. So we're not done with the rain yet. I'll be with you through the rest of the afternoon and evening as things evolve. Be extra cautious on our roadways, especially across southern Arkansas, where the rain has been quite heavy at times, and never cross a roadway that's covered with water. Again, flash flood warnings in effect already across a good chunk of Ouachita County in Arkansas. Those extend through early afternoon. And of course, you can check the interactive radar and your local forecast by logging on to digitalweatherdesk.com. I'll join you as needed through the rest of the afternoon and evening with more information as well. And thanks for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank.